Happy Turkey Day, everyone. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Uh, Hi. I know this is impromptu. This is a Friendsgiving Hangout stream. Hopefully we're gonna have some guests popping in, but for those who want to join the chat, ask me anything, within reason, of course. Um, Tell me what you think of the movies, what you think of life in general, questions, messages, all that stuff. It's Friendsgiving, everybody. More like Fucksgiving. I'm not a huge fan of this holiday. I'm going to be pretty honest with you guys. So, we are going to kind of just wait for some guests, some viewers, what have you. We are going to twiddle our thumbs and just kind of hang. How you doing? You look good. So, it's Thanksgiving, possibly the last Thanksgiving we'll have in the United States of America. So, let's enjoy it while we can. Okay. This is a very, very strange start, I grant you, but I didn't want to push it back anymore. This is, somebody's gonna show up eventually. We're just gonna hang. Um, for those who wanted to know, the review will be coming tomorrow. I saw Robot Dreams today. It was fantastic. Finally got around to checking it out. It was really good. Um, I also saw that Mononoke, the movie, recommended from my buddy Jared Runner. Thank you, Jared. Appreciate it. That was a good recommend. Good flick. Yeah. So, I have a sort of a question for whoever's watching when somebody is watching. Is it just me, or is this year for movies been uncannily good? Now, keep in mind, I've seen almost 350 movies already this year, which I know is a lot, but like, I kind of have a goal to like see as close to everything as I possibly can. Of course, I can't see everything that comes out in a year, but I try to make that happen. You know. Um, the only thing I wanted to watch this year that I didn't get a chance to watch was Thanksgiving, the movie Thanksgiving. Oh, thank God.
We're
Oh, thank
smoking
you.
dope. We're smoking dope in your candy shop. I don't know. I
Why don't you
died.
give me a why didn't you follow me back, by the way?
Did I not follow you back on Blue Sky? I'm
I'm
just
gonna
not
put you on the
on
spot
social
right
media.
here, right now, homie.
I'm not on social medias that much. If I'm gonna be fucking real with you, so
Yeah,
like I
I'm
feel
just
like
busting your.
I thought I already followed you. I thought that you were one of the first people that because you would have popped up. I don't
I'm
know.
just I'm just busting your.
Lamb chops. Oh shit.
Yes, your lamb chops. Thank you.
Oh shit. No, yes, I saw Nora, which I can see what you're
Thank
saying.
you.
It might be best movie of the year. It's the most American movie I've seen, or one of the most American movies I've seen the last 10 years.
It's my
Like
no,
it's genuine.
it's my number three, but I gotta say it might go up on a rewatch. Cause it is so fucking good.
Yeah, it's his best movie. Like out no
Yeah.
fucking doubt it's his best fucking movie. Like it's the way I saw it is you take uncut gems, you mix it with
Mhm.
After Hours, and you put a little bit of Albert Brooks's Lost in America,
Oh
and
yeah.
that's basically what that fucking movie is. And I was like, holy shit, like this is
Like with
fucking
a little
great.
bit of Pretty Woman in there too. Like there's a
Yeah,
little bit of that. Also, I feel like whoever I talk to about this movie falls into two camps. There's people like you and I who are movie people who love this movie, and also some general audiences, like my sister, for instance. Yeah, that was an awkward watch. I took my sister to that movie.
I don't know because I'm watching
But
it and
she
everyone
liked
was
it. She
saying,
liked it a lot.
everyone's like, it's so sexual. But like all of the stuff that happens is in context to the movie. I feel like the only
Yeah,
time it's weird is when it's just happening to happen. This
there was
movie,
a
at
lot of
least it's
fucking though in
like,
that movie, though.
oh, there's a
But
lot of fucking in it, but I feel like in context to the movie, it's fucking understandable why it's in there because it literally goes to a second half of the movie where there's no sex.
yeah,
And because that's not the point of the movie anymore. I just think people get fucking caught up in that shit because
but
North Americans are weird about sex for some reason, like real weird about that shit.
yeah, every week on I listened to him today too. Every week I listen to Kermode and Mayov's take, and they were talking about because Mark Kermode loved Honora, and if you know Mark Kermode, he's like a feminist kind of guy, real woke and all that. And the thing is that he got letters saying that like he from women saying they hated it because they thought it was misogynistic, and somebody in the letter argued, and Mark Kermode respectfully kind of both agreed with both takes, but also said that he could see both angles. Where the person in question was specifically referring to that big chunk in the middle, the big slapstick, like in the house sequence,
Fucking scene. That's
which is which
hilarious
is which is
scene.
great. No, but literally somebody said the reason it's funny is not because it's a woman being tormented. It's the fact that the scenario they set up is the woman is being tormented, and the woman is the one kicking all of their asses. The woman is
Feel
taking
like
care of herself.
people aren't getting the joke. The joke
Yeah,
is that they went in thinking that like, oh, they would talk him down, and this girl
yeah.
starts beating the shit out of them,
But
and they're
kicks
like,
the
no,
dude
no,
in
no,
the
no, no,
nose. Like,
don't fucking unhandcuff her. Don't do it. Don't do it. And they're like, it's a little fucking girl. What is she gonna do to you? It's like she broke my fucking nose. It's
Honora,
funny, yeah. It's
Honora,
literally super feminist. I feel like people who saying it's not,
yeah.
it's because of some weird shit like, oh, because she's naked in it. It's like,
Yeah,
well, that doesn't constitute if it's feminist or not. That
but
just constitutes
and the
how
thing
open
about
it is.
people mention the nudity too. Here's the thing. I think that it's also the nudity in that film also serves a purpose in showing the character. It's sort of symbolic of how the character is. What you see is what you get, and she's tough, and so therefore she's naked. But it's like she's what's the word? She's
People were
like
acting like
metaphorically
it was
naked
a
too.
people were acting like it was a blonde situation where she's naked for like half the fucking movie, and I'm like, no, it's like a few strip club scenes to like set
Yeah,
up the characters, and then a few sex scenes that are supposed to show how their relationship is melding, and then the rest of the movie is fucking after hours. So I'm like, I
yeah.
don't understand where that like are. It's like if people got mad about the nudity and the substance, it's like okay, but there's
Yeah.
a reason that
And some
there's
people got mad
nudity in
at
that
that
movie.
too. They said that it's surprising it's directed by a woman because it seems to have the male gaze, which I didn't get
Well,
at all.
no, because none of the scenes are horny. All of the
No.
scenes are just a honest look at, oh, us and our bodies and shit. I just think what this all comes down to is a lot of people, I think we've had this conversation many of times.
Yeah.
People don't look deep into movies. They see the first surface and they're like, this is weird. It's like, well, and
Yeah.
I'll admit I've done that with movies before. There are movies I've been wrong on, but like I feel like people don't want to look deeper. They're just like, it's
I
weird and it's
I I feel like if anything with the substance, Coralie Fargette, is that how you pronounce her name?
yeah.
They kind of turn the male gaze back onto us for horrific reasons. I mean, it's a satire, and I think that
It turns well because the real scary part of the movie is Dennis Quaid.
oh
like
yeah,
like I feel like the thing is like people are looking at it like, oh, what's this? It's like it. They're very clear about what she's saying. I feel like if you can't catch on to it, you might just not be smart enough to watch movies or to consume art if like you can't get what that movie's about. Like I get other movies this year being a little confusing. Like
yeah.
every straight able-bodied person that has seen I Saw the TV Glow, they all say the same thing where they're like, "Oh, I don't see it as this type of story." And then you have to explain it to them. Like the amount of people
Yeah,
I've had to explain that it's a trans story, but also an autism story. A lot of them are like,
yeah.
"Whoa, what are you talking about?" It's like, well, it's really fucking clear. I think it's more of that too. I think that there's a lot of, which is weird. I think there's a lot of men, but I think there's a lot of women that are watching these movies and not really taking into account the real, actual reasons these things are happening.
I
Like,
think there's a bit of a downside to this idea of, and again, I love that this studio blew up and they make quality films, but the idea that people go to A24 movies and they're kind of like, oh, it's a cult fan base kind of thing. We're going to go see an A24 movie, and they don't understand that what they're getting is something that's going to be thematically richer than the average movie. They go in thinking on average. They
to
think it's
join
going
into the club like it's Marvel. Like, we're gonna see this because everyone's talking about these movies, and then they go and they're like, "What is this? It's a slow movie." It does,
to,
and that's the thing too. These movies aren't going to give you everything you want. They're kind of like they're artistic pieces. They're not made by numbers and studios and shit. Like it's made by like real fucking people.
By the way, I want to ask you: did you watch Amanda the Jedi's video on Megalopolis? Because I
I
have
I did
to say,
not, but I definitely heard from her a couple times about how fucking bad
I
she
have to
thought that
say,
movie was.
she nailed everything that I hated about it, all the way down to, and all the things I wanted to note about it, except one thing I missed, which is how unintentionally funny the line "circle back to the club" is when Adam Driver
That's
responds.
like the best part of the movie.
No,
Go
no,
back to the club.
no. The best part of the movie is, what do you think of this boner I got? Shoots Shia LaBeouf in the ass. That's the best part of the movie. That almost makes it worth watching, just for that John Voight drunkenly, like he
That
just woke
movie
up.
is crazy. And
That
that's the
movie
thing too.
sucks.
I had that whole fucking conversation with someone recently about his filmography, and I said that Francis Ford Coppola hasn't made a good movie since like the 80s, and
Dude,
the
right?
and they were like, "Oh, but you liked Megalopolis." It's like, "Yeah, I liked it, but I'm not going to say it's a good movie though."
Well,
Like I
here's the
could
thing.
separate them in my mind. Like it's not a quality film, but I had fun with it. Like
But like this whole idea too, like I've gotten responses from people who like the movie saying things like, first
mhm.
and foremost, you didn't get it, which is the stupidest response to somebody saying they didn't like it.
So
I
in your face about what it's about,
I
you
got it.
everyone can
Anybody would
get
get
that
it.
shit.
I got it. I just don't. It's the same thing with Film Socialisma, the John Luke Godard movie. I get it. I don't want it, but I get it.
Well, Megalopolis is baby's first philosophy lesson, and if you
Yeah.
didn't get it, I would be worried about your just your general understanding of society if you don't understand what that movie's
Well,
saying.
and it's like everybody's saying, "Oh, this is really deep. This is really like this is something you've never seen before." Yeah, it would be something you've never seen before if you've never read an Anne Rice novel or watched a Terrence Malick movie. Maybe it's something you've never seen
Yeah,
before.
yeah, yeah. But I
But
feel like
I've
that's
seen,
the problem is you're hearing it from people who don't dive into this and they
yeah.
just see one thing once in a while.
No, this was the best response I got. Was like, "Oh, you just don't like Francis Ford Coppola." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about, dude?"
Apocalypse Now is one of the greatest fucking
Dude,
movies of all
on
time. Like,
on last like year before last, and we talked about it on my channel. They did a Dolby remastered re-release of the Godfather. I
saw
reviewed
that.
it.
Oh my god. I went and
I
saw that at the TIFF theater. That was so
Yeah,
great on
I
4K.
reviewed it, and I said that objectively, The Godfather is like one of the top 10 best movies ever made, which was made by
Objectively it
Francis Ford
is.
Coppola.
Yeah.
So it's not that I don't like him; it's that I don't like his shitty movie.
The
He can be
problem is
brilliant.
he's
Yeah.
lost himself. He's lost himself a bit. I said the same thing about Ridley Scott to this person. I was
Mm.
like, Ridley Scott also has only made like 3 actual good movies and the rest of his filmography has been like hit and
Yeah.
miss, hit and miss. And I feel like it genuinely only 3 I'd ever watch again. And I was just saying in the context that people talk about Coppola and Scott and they're like greatest directors of all time and I'm like
The
not when your
Last Duel
batting
was good.
average is
No,
like
Last Duel was good.
I don't remember liking it. I think I liked House of Gucci more, but like both
House of Gucci was
filmmakers,
entertaining, but
yeah.
the honestly, The Last Duel, that's one that I think is underrated because I think it has more substance than the average Ridley Scott movie. There's more to it. Than the average. It made my best of I think
They're
that year. But the thing is, like, Ridley Scott, I'll say this about it as a visual filmmaker. he makes some gorgeous, like Gladiator 2. I'm not nuts about, but I have to give credit. The battle scenes are immaculate. Like, he does a good
Looks
job.
great, but there's
Yeah,
no substance, is what I
well,
heard.
it was the same. It was the same issue with Gladiator 1, where it's like, yeah, it's Gladiator again, and it's the same problems I had with the first one. The battles are great. The emotional stuff just doesn't make me emote. I don't emotionally engage with it, and if you do, that's fine. But like, for instance, of the two, people have talked all about like how like Glickhead was going to be the next Barbenheimer, but the thing people don't understand is that in the case of Barbenheimer, both movies in Barbenheimer were really good movies, and
Well,
in
and that's what
Glickhead,
I'm
there was one
hearing
decent
from
movie and one
people.
great
Yeah.
movie,
Like
which was
they're trying
Wicked.
to replicate that shit. They're trying to
Yeah,
do that again, but everyone I talk to is like, there's never going to be two movies that good together ever
yeah,
again. So we should fucking stop trying. But of course, the industry's going to try to keep doing it. They're going to try to peddle these like meme narratives
yeah.
because Barbenheimer made so much fucking money and the
But
industry is fucking dying that they're going to keep trying to do it to like
but the thing
fix where
that
they
made
are.
Barbenheimer such a flash in the pan too is that it was that rare time where studios invested $100+ million budgets to basically giant multi-million dollar art house films,
Yeah.
and they did well because of the internet. They took a risk
Created
on
a
both.
real well
Yeah,
because it's like the Blair Witch Project
yeah,
marketing. It's like they just went real hard on the marketing and they worked. And I feel like they didn't learn the right lesson. Now they're thinking we're going to put two movies together. It's like, but if you put two studio slop pieces together,
yeah.
that's not the same thing as two films that were made by studios that were
Well,
actually good movies on top of that. Like,
well, it's like look at the Thanksgiving lineup this year in wide release in the United States. It's Gladiator 2, Wicked, and Moana 2. If that is not
go
a
with
case
you.
of one of these things
That's
not like the other.
all of them I think are terrible choices to go to the movies on
No,
Thanksgiving
no, no,
for.
no. That's the thing, Becca. One of them isn't, and it's Wicked. Wicked was
Everyone
great.
says everyone says Wicked is good. I'm not seeing it in the theater. I'm gonna be real with you. There
Yeah.
are no movies in the theater right now that I think have any type of pull for me. The only movie for the rest of the year that I will go see in theaters is Nosferatu. Everything
Oh
else,
hell yeah!
I don't fucking care.
I'm
I
seeing that
think
shit
that
in IMAX, bro.
I'll see that if it comes around to my theater, I'll go see it because it looks fucking great. But
Yeah.
like everything else looks like maybe it's because like I'm kind of done with the I'm gonna watch everything because
Yeah.
like I spend most of my time watching shit I don't like. Why would I fuck? And a lot of it is these big films where they're like, this is the big film, which is weird to say because the two Marvel movies look good next year, which is weird for me to say, but
Thunderbolts
Thun-
in particular, I'm kind of hyped for.
Thunderbolts looks great.
It
And
does.
Captain America looks like it's going to be something with like actual value. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm kind of down for both of these, which is
I
weird because I'm not a big fan of them, but it looks like they tried with these two.
Well, here's the thing though. What I liked about Wicked though is the thing is that Wicked. I kind of have a similar opinion to Wicked as I did with the 2021 West Side Story, which is that all the factors seem to say that the movie was there was no way the movie was going to work, and not only did it worked like a dream. It was everything you could want it to be in an adaptation of a Broadway show, and they did it well. It was made by filmmakers who know what they're doing. It was made by actors who were right for the part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's an element of that. Wicked just it's that rare time where a north of $200 million movie that's aimed at a large family audience is really as good as the best films of the year. And I know that seems weird to say, but it's and again I can't help but
I
love.
won't have I won't have an answer for that by the end of the year because I'm
Yeah,
probably not seeing it. So
I recommend it though. Give it. I recommend it honestly, Becca. If you have some time to spare, like give it a chance. It's actually pretty
real
good.
with you, most years I do this thing where I spend all of December catching up on movies. I ain't doing that shit this year. I don't care. Like there's
Yeah.
so many movies I haven't seen, but like I don't why? Why would I watch them though? Like what
I
is it
kind
gonna add to my life to
well
watch these movies?
the last week of December after I see the Christmas Day releases because I usually don't go to the theater on Christmas Day. Usually I'm with the family, but like that's usually my day off. But like the rest of that week, yeah, I'm gonna be seeing shit. I'm making a list of like indie movies that never played near me that I want to go see. And I've already kind of started the process, like just today, literally just today, I finally watched Robot Dreams because it's on Disney Plus now.
And that's
And
a movie that like you don't even
fuck,
need
dude,
to
that was
like
good. That
a
was
movie.
so fucking good.
Everyone, when I was at the festival, everyone left that one. They're like, "Oh, it's real good." I never got around to it, but I like the concept of it. That it's like no dialogue and it's a robot and a dog like
It's a
having an
robot. It's a
adventure.
robot and a dog. And the thing is that okay, it could be read multiple ways. It's a friendship story. It's a family movie. Even though it's PG-13 because they flip somebody off in one scene. Who gives a fuck? It's a G-rated movie. But essentially, what the movie is, it's like it's also kind of a queer movie, and I kind of love that in a way because it's like this. What's great about it is that when you see the trailer, it's just kind of dog gets a robot, shenanigans happen, right? That's not this movie at all. What I love about this movie is that it is there's no dialogue in the whole movie. There's music and there's like songs, but there's no dialogue. It's a robot and a dog who the dog is isolated and lonely, and so he buys a robot friend, and then they go to a beach, and the robot friend is so rusted he can't move off the beach, and they're going to close the beach down. So he literally has to wait a year to go back to his friend because they won't let him on the premises. And so,
Oh,
and so you watch their lives take these separate paths, and they long to be back together with one another. And the title of the movie, Robot Dreams, is that we frequently will go to these scenarios where the robot and the dog will reunite, and it turns out it's just his dreams, hoping and longing for the dog.
that's a lot more deeper than I
Yeah,
expected
it's a
because
really good fucking movie, dude. Like
because
it's really.
they that's real deep. I
I
understand why
bawled
they
my
played at
fucking eyes out
festivals.
at the end of that movie. Let me put it this way: you'll never hear "September" by Earth, Wind, and Fire the same way again after this movie.
Okay, okay.
It's really good. I
Yo,
highly recommend it.
movies that dropped this year, that finally dropped this year. You see Riddle of Fire yet?
Hey, Jared, what's up, buddy? Oh, thanks for, by the way, Jared. Before I forget, thank you for the recommend on Mononoke. It was really awesome. Okay,
Mononoke is great.
yeah, the fucking I watched that movie today and just I couldn't.
Are you talking about like the OG, like Princess Mononoke?
No. Princess Mononoke is fantastic. Yeah, I've seen videos.
Yeah.
This one it's a Netflix. It came out today. It's this like Netflix
Okay.
anime movie, and it's as a story, it's kind of like what the fuck, like the what? But as an animation, like a visual experience, it is some of the most unique art style I've seen in a movie like ever. I wish it was
Okay.
in theaters because it's almost like a hybrid of anime and like old fashioned Japanese
Okay.
illustrations, and like a mix of that with like almost like
Oh yeah.
ceramic paintings. You know what I mean? It's great. I
I
love
might
it.
have to see that because that's actually an interesting vibe. Yo,
I'll tell you this:
but
you should smoke a joint before you watch it. It's a good
okay.
movie to get high to.
Well, did you see Riddle of Fire yet, Grant?
No, that's another one that's on my list.
That's a banger. Now that's a movie that even though I'm like not big on a lot of the movies people are talking about this year, Riddle of Fire, I'm like everyone's got to see that bitch. That movie is so
I,
fucking good.
I put that on my list. I put Humanist Vampire on my list.
Oh hell yeah. Okay, Humanist Vampire is also a banger.
Put the Humanist Vampire. I put Ghost Light because my buddy Drake said it was his
Okay.
favorite movie of the year. I put that.
I heard it's fantastic.
I put We Grown Now because the trailer made me cry and I was sad I
Yeah.
missed it in theaters. So I put that. I never came where I was. So I put that. Daddy-O mainly
Okay.
because
I heard Daddy-O shit. I'll tell you that right now. I heard
mixed
Daddy-O
reviews.
is I heard it's misogynistic shit is what I
I've
heard from
I've
people.
heard the same. That's almost more of a morbid curiosity thing because Tracy, nerdy film girl Tracy, said that,
Okay.
like, it was the worst screenplay she's ever heard.
Yeah, that's what she was
Thought it was
saying.
just
And I'm
awful.
like, people were saying it literally is like just some like incel was rambling and wrote a script and it's like the worst fucking thing that could ever have come out this
Oh,
entire year.
I wanted to point out. I don't know if you watched his live, but your movie sucks. Adam did
Okay.
he did like the quickie catch up where he like did some end of the year housekeeping. Like he talked about Joker. He talked about some.
He
Finally,
updated some. He gave something a 10, I heard. Didn't he
he
give Substance a 10?
he gave the Substance a 10 retroactively. Went from a 9 to a 10. He
Yeah.
also gave Look Back a 10, which I 100% agree with. That's my
I
second.
have not seen it yet, but it's been on that list to watch because I
It's an
find it
hour long.
fascinating.
It is literally an hour long. It is so short.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
It's on Amazon Prime, at least in the States. I don't know if
No,
it's.
it's here on Prime. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's a Prime exclusive.
Um, but the one that he couldn't help but agree on, and he had a whole half the review was just like, they did not distribute this properly. I had to literally go see this while I was visiting Seattle. IFC, what the fuck? And I literally said it's going to be on my best of the year list, and I said, not only is it on my list, it's my number 6. Memoir of a Snail, he gave like 10 out of 10.
Oh yeah, Memoir of a
Which is
Snail is
fucking
a
awesome.
weird situation because that's
It's
another one where I was like, I would watch this,
it's
but
great.
they are not putting it anywhere. They're not. It's not on streaming. It's not in more theaters than 2 theaters, and
Yeah.
it looks like an interesting art style, very much to me um like a little bit like a Coraline energy or
Yeah.
like a Tale of Despero energy, and I was
Tale of
like,
Desperate,
I I do want to see this,
but
but
here's
they
the thing.
don't they're not putting it anywhere.
A friend of mine who has little kids
Yeah,
asked me about it because he says, "Oh, is it good for my 7 or 8 year old?" Because the trailer makes it look like this uplifting claymation, like kind of like a
yeah.
Coraline thing. Dude, that movie is so for adults. It is so dark. I mean,
What's the premise of it? So you're
well,
telling it's like a Mary and Max situation
well,
where
it's
it's
the
like,
same
oh, is it for
director and it's
kids?
kind of the same style. I love Mary.
Okay,
Fucking
yeah,
love Mary. So basically, what it is, and here's how I saw it was almost like happenstance. So basically, it was a couple weeks ago I saw it. I was going to St. Louis International Film Festival,
okay.
but I had like a bunch of the day to kill, and I was in St. Louis, and I was like, "Fuck, what's playing nearby?" And I saw there's a theater in Creve Courts, the AMC multiplex, and only at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon because I was already up. They were
Of
only
course, they were
that
doing that too. They're like 2 in the afternoon and
two
no
in the
other
afternoon
screenings.
only. They showed Memoir of a Snail. I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go see Memoir of a Snail with my A-list. Fuck it, I'm gonna go see it on the big screen, and I did.
Yeah.
And then I had more time to kill, and I saw Weekend in Taipei, which was bad but kind of fun.
Oh
The
yeah.
movie with not Luke Wilson. Fuck. Who's the
Yeah.
dude from Beauty and the Beast? Luke Evans.
Luke Evans, yeah, I saw it pop up on my iTunes, and I'm like, that's one of those movies where you see the title once and then you just never hear about it again because you're like,
It's
well, I'm not interested.
maybe it's just this. I know that he's a prick in real life. I have a little bit of a soft spot for Un Film de Luc Besson. There's something about his style of Eurotrash that it just tickles me. I have to see it.
Yeah,
And sometimes he'll make a good one. Like I liked
yeah.
Lucy. People.
Lucy was decent. I like Leon and I like Fifth Element, but
Also,
I don't.
I think Valerian's kind of
I
underrated too.
do. You're right. I do vibe with Valerian to some
At least
extent.
it's different. At least it's a big budget movie that tries something new.
I heard Dogman is shit though. I heard the new
I
one
haven't
he
seen
did
Dogman.
is fucking terrible.
Now, Dogman is shit, but the other movie called Dogman that's coming out, the Captain Underpants spinoff, actually looks kind of peak. I'm not gonna lie. It looks like
Yeah,
fun.
no, I saw the trailer and I didn't even know what the premise of that was. And then when I found out it's sewing a dog head to a human, I was like, "Oh, that's kind of
Well,
fucked up. That's kind
well,
of crazy."
It's a spinoff of the
Of
Captain
Captain
Underpants movie,
Underpants.
which was
Yeah.
surprisingly great. Like the Captain Underpants movie was
I
actually
had
fucking
fun with
funny.
it. I didn't love it, but it was one of those kids movies where I'm like, I'd rather kids see this than some of the dumb shit that Disney's
Yeah.
peddling right now.
But it was but yeah, so I went to see that and it was actually a pretty good day overall because like yeah, Weekend in Taipei was the meat in the sandwich, but the bread was the first loaf of bread or the first slice was Memoir of a Snail. The last slice of bread was The Brutalist. So that was actually a
Oh
pretty good
hell yeah.
day.
Okay, yeah.
Like
Okay,
half a
that's a
slice after I
movie
saw The
I
Brutalist.
don't I don't know when they're gonna drop it around me, but whenever I can see it as soon as I can, The Brutalist is on that list too
I
because
went to see it at I felt
Vox
so
Lux
dude
Vox Lux is a banger. I
Lux
liked
is
it when it came out. Like
I went into it because this was before the trailer came out, I think. It was only like the
yeah,
there isn't a full trailer yet, I think. I
there
went
isn't.
into
It's
this
just that teaser that's really fucking good.
It is. I went into this movie and I was one of the lucky few. Apparently, we were one of only 3 film festivals to get the 35 millimeter print, which was
Yeah.
awesome. It, like this division 35. So we watched it on
Tiff didn't
film.
even get it. Tiff didn't even get it. It
Yeah,
was Venice and it was you guys and then it was someone else were the only ones that got
we got
that print.
Dude, it was one of those things where we had the 15-minute intermission at the exact like halfway point. No, but very few people got up. Everybody was talking about how good the first half was. It was the kind of movie when it was over, it's 4 hours. When it's
Yeah.
over, you leave the theater, and I literally called my mom up and she said, "Oh, how was The Brutalist?" And I said, "This must have been what it felt like to like see like fucking Doctor Zhivago when it first came out."
Or
There's
see
such a
like Lawrence of Arabia or The
yeah,
Godfather when those dropped. Yeah.
yeah,
Or
like I said,
2001 where you're like, wow, this is like important cinema.
and she asked me like who directed it, and I said, this is a reference only you and I are gonna get. It goes, weirdly enough, the director of it is the kid from the fucking Thunderbirds movie. She goes, really? I'm like, yeah.
The kid from Mysterious Skin with the aliens.
Well, I mean, I was using a reference my mom would know,
She
of
wouldn't
course.
have known it, but the way I remember him is he's the kid who's like, I saw aliens, and then you find out darker, fucked up
Fucking
shit.
Funny Games too. Him and Michael
Funny,
Pitt.
he is in Funny Games too. Yeah, the remake.
He's
Yeah.
he's also very small part in one of my favorite movies. One of the movies that like was a watershed movie for me in my older youth, which was 13, which is such a fucking good movie.
Oh, he is in 13 too. You're right.
He's
He
like
was in a
he's
lot
like
of
the
those
older brother.
skater. He was in a lot of those skater movies, those like punk ass movies back in that day, which I'm like, that's cool. And now he's making like really big, important American cinema pieces, which
Which
is
is great.
great.
And you watch this movie, and it's like I think I saw Vox. Like, is that the one with Natalie Portman? She's like
Natalie Portman, where
yeah,
the daughter from The Brutalist plays Natalie Portman young, and then also plays her daughter, and it's like you watch her and she's
right.
like losing her fucking mind.
Isn't it like she survived a school shooting and now she's a pop
Yeah,
star
yeah,
and
yeah.
hasn't
Like
dealt
she
with her
was,
shit?
like
Yeah,
she got
that was
shy at
it.
Columbine, and then she becomes like
Yeah,
a music star because she uses that as a way to like she like this idea that like she signed a deal with the devil when
yeah.
she got shot to become this like superstar. Yeah,
So
it's cool. It's like Smile 2 if like it was an art film, you know.
so basically, I guess Stacey Martin is Brady Corbett's muse because she was also in The Brutalist.
Is Stacey Martin in that shit?
Oh yeah, dude, she's like one of the major supporting roles. She's like the daughter of. So basically, what The Brutalist is, because there's not a lot known about it. It's essentially like Adrian
It's a
Brody,
it's he's a guy who's, from my understanding, he's a guy that is coming from um
like
he's
Poland
coming
or
from is
Hungary.
from Poland. Yeah, and
Hungary,
he's
yeah.
like and he's an architect, and it's the
He's
creation of the brutalist architecture
well,
movement
basically,
in
he
America.
survived the Holocaust. He comes to America, and
Yeah.
at first he doesn't really fit in with stuff. But basically, he's a brutalist, and he wants to build buildings that almost represent um, the camps, like represent almost like the prison he was in, but show it as like a place of hope. And so
Yeah.
he comes to this place, and he catches the eye of this sort of eccentric billionaire played by like think of like a Rockefeller type, played by Guy Pearce,
Yeah.
and who's great in the movie. And it's him and his son Joe Alwyn, once again playing a fucking creep, and Stacey Martin, who's his daughter, and
And he
they
marries Stacey Martin.
yeah, and they kind of take him under her wing. She's like the least, she's like the most compassionate of the three of them.
Yeah.
But like it gets basically what it is that it's twofold because it follows him basically from 1947 to an epilogue in 1980, and you're seeing kind of his journey to get this chapel built that he's hired by this billionaire to make, and it's just kind of what he goes through as an immigrant in America in that time. It's
Oh yeah.
about the sort of this very complex relationship, the friendship he forms with Guy Pearce, and it turns out Guy Pearce is not as on the up and up as you would think he is. It's about his wife who comes in at the midpoint, who's sickly and comes to live with him, who's played by Felicity Jones, who's great in the movie also. And it's just great. It's one of those movies that's about legacy and it's about like all this stuff, but it's also it has that sweep of an epic, but it's not like a movie your racist grandfather is going to go, they don't make them like that anymore. It's really progressive. It has that Brady Corbett element.
It's that yeah.
Yeah,
It's that type of Once Upon a Time in America, but with a modern
yeah.
aesthetic. Yeah. It's
It's
cool that
great.
Stacey Martin's in it because the only thing I remember her from is the Nymphomaniac movies.
Hmm.
So it's cool that she's doing more movies than that because I would feel bad for her if that's what she got stuck as.
Can
She
I
was in
can
the
I be
Ford
real? I
movie.
have kind of a crush on Stacey Martin, and the thing is,
Oh yeah,
she's great in this. Did you ever see? It wasn't a great movie, but she was really good in it. Did you ever see that movie she did about Jean-Luc Godard, where she was like his muse? That was pretty good. The
I
Frenchman.
don't I don't think so.
It was like
I,
Godard Mon Amour or something.
oh no, I didn't see that. No, I know
Yeah,
what you're
that was
talking about. I
alright.
didn't see that one.
It was the dude who did The Artist made it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so there's probably some like thematic quality there because the artist is very much a stylized film.
mm. She wasn't in the movie much, but she was also pretty good in her couple of scenes in The Night House.
Oh,
Uh,
she isn't. Ah, yeah, that's another movie.
yeah,
I don't think I saw The Night House. I think I heard
really,
a lot of
it's
people were
really
like,
good.
it's so good," and I don't think I ever saw it.
The thing is, Nymphomaniac, I have a bit of a love hate relationship with because I actually think the first half is stronger. I think when it's about her, it's
Yeah.
better. When it becomes about Charlotte Gainsbourg, it kind of loses me, even though Charlotte Gainsbourg is
Oh,
great.
she is great. I would agree
Yeah.
with you though. I think
It
that the
gets
first
too up its own ass Lars von Trier about it
Yeah,
in
the
the second.
first part I think is a brilliant art piece about sex addiction, and then the
Mm-hmm.
second part becomes more kind of like some. It does get to Lars von Trier, like
It we're all born to die. The world is hopeless. Lars von Trier bullshit. And the thing is, the
I'm fine
first
with this
half gets
shit.
to like
I'm fine with
that
this shit because
extent.
I loved House of Jack
Yeah,
Built. I think that's a great movie, even though
House
it's
of
him
Jack Bill
sucking
like
his own cock. Like it's
it's
so
like
great.
Terrence Malick with me though, where Lars von Trier, the pendulum swings here and there. Dancer in the Dark, pendulum swings right. House of
Yeah,
Jack Bill, Melancholia, but then there's like The Idiots and
yeah,
Nymphomaniac and stuff where it's just like, I see what you're trying to do. I don't want it. I understand
yeah.
what you're going for, but I don't. I don't think you succeeded in the experiment. Does Too Many Cooks count because he plays a pie? I guess that counts as a
No,
large Trier movie.
I
But
would
like,
say because there's a lot of these extremist directors. The only one
yeah.
that's entirely consistent is Gaspar Noé. Probably
I,
because he mind fucks you with like visuals every time, and it's like a new experience every time.
but Gaspar Noé has sometimes where I think he's up his own ass at the expense. Like, Enter the Void is one of the best fucking movies. Enter the
That's one
Void
of
is
the
great.
greatest movies ever made.
Vortex
That's
is
a
good.
mind blowing fucking movie.
Climax
I
is
haven't seen
good.
Vortex. I haven't
But
seen Vortex yet, but I heard it's fucking great.
Irreversible is good, but it's a one and done for me.
I will tell you right now, I've seen it multiple times,
Yeah.
but the I watched it in full the first time, but now every time I watch it, I skip the 8 minute scene because I'm like, I don't want to
Yeah,
watch that again.
it's
Which
too
is weird
much.
to say because
Yeah.
I'm totally fine watching the really gay nympho guy getting his face smashed in with the
Yeah.
fucking fire. That's a great scene, maybe because of the way it's shot, because it's so. But I can't watch the other scene. The other scene, I'm like, nah, I got to skip that shit. It's
Well, I
too
feel
much.
like it's a case of like pick your poison. When it
Yeah,
comes to pretentiousness, like I love just about everything that Luca Guadagnino does, and I know that
that's
some
true.
people
Yeah,
fucking hate most of his shit. Like he has a lot of people who don't like him. Like I loved Bones and All. I thought that was fucking great.
I fuck with
Loved
Bones and All. I fuck with Suspiria. I fuck with Call Me by Your Name.
Challengers. I'm
I
sorry, I love
don't.
that fucking movie.
I don't fuck with Challengers, and I
Yeah,
don't fuck with the stuff before,
Call Me
like
by
the
Your Name.
like Bigger Splash. I don't really fuck with that
A
one.
Bigger Splash is a mess, but I like enough of it to say that like it's a thumbs up. I understand where you're coming from. I Am Love is great. Um,
Though, like I do like most of his stuff, but it is that thing of like
he's
you
up his
get
own
some of
ass,
these you get
but
some of these guys, and you're like, yeah, basically they're very pretentious, but some of them are real good at filmmaking, and some of them are too into themselves.
I haven't gotten to see it yet because it's still only in LA, New
Queer.
York over here. But I hear Queer is really good.
Okay, I don't know how much have you heard because what I heard is that the
It's
first
mixed to
half
positive.
I heard the first half of it is like this like gay romance type thing. And
Hmm.
then I heard the second half is literally just psychedelic. It's like you took too
Yeah,
much acid. And I'm like, what the
That's
fuck?
kind
Like
of Luca
everyone's,
Guadagnino,
but
though.
everyone's saying like this is like it gets weird acid trip shit where they're like, this is not even like it's like way further than Suspiria, where
There's
people
no
are like,
narrative anymore. It's just
where it
weird
becomes
shit.
just the holy mountain, and people are
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is this? It's like I'm very interested to see what they're doing because from the trailer there were shots where I'm like, how does that logically make sense to the narrative? It doesn't seem like it's going to, but I guess it's just going to be a part of the final act of that movie.
But of all the things he's made, you know what I think honestly is his masterpiece, and nobody talks about it because of where it's from.
Suspiria.
No, 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 not even Suspiria. We Are Who We Are, his HBO series. It's
Yeah.
fantastic, and nobody watches.
I I wasn't the hugest fan of it, which is weird because
Yeah,
it's got a
it,
great cast. It's got
it,
people that I run and gun for in the
Chloe
cast.
Sevigny was great in it though,
But
but
like she was 100% she was fucking
it's
great in it.
Chloe Sevigny. She's always good.
I just can't fully run and gun for the show because I felt like it's the same way I feel about Nicholas Winding Refn's show on Prime Video.
Oh,
The
Too Old to Die Young.
Yeah, where I'm
That's a
like
little too much.
okay, I get your style, but I can't watch 10 hours of this shit though.
I
Like it's
loved
not
Copenhagen Cowboy though. That was pretty
I
awesome.
heard it's good. Haven't seen
Yeah.
it. I will watch it though because I heard it. I like the style. I like
Well,
the
that's another thing where like he's an acquired taste, and here's the thing: Nicholas Winding Refn is a taste I've acquired. I've loved pretty much all of his shit, but I
he's a weird guy
understand
though,
the
you know.
backlash of it in the
He
sense of like
thinks that fucking Only God Forgives is better than Citizen Kane. He's a weird guy.
Only God Forgives is the one where I'll give you that like I I like it, but I totally get why a lot of people really
I
fucking
think
hate
it's
it.
decent. I
Yeah,
think it's decent, but I'll never watch it again. But
yeah.
it is a movie where I'm like, he's clearly trying to
It's
be as
not Bronson.
fucking edgy as
It's not Drive, and
it's not.
it's not his
He
better movies.
he's trying to be so
Yeah,
fucking edgy and like, look, we're showing you disgusting shit. And
yeah.
I'm like, okay, buddy, like, cool, you showed us something that's really bad, but
Hey, ooh,
where's the substance?
ooh, look, Kristen Scott Thomas wants to fuck her son Ryan Gosling, and it's like a plot point.
Have the whole thing where the movie literally is set up because like his
Yeah,
brother like rapes and murders a prostitute, and I'm like,
yeah.
yes, I don't really care about this story. I'm sorry, like it's not an interesting story,
It does
and
feel
like it's
mechanical
misery.
too,
It's
in
the
the
one.
sense
It's the
like
one. Yeah, it is. It's the one film though that I would say because I know a lot of people use this word for so many movies.
pretension.
Only God Forgives is misery porn. It literally is
Yeah, it
like
is.
that's it.
It's true.
So many movies that people put that label on don't fit it. That's the perfect movie for it. Where I'm like, yeah, that's literally misery
Memoir of a
porn.
Snail is kind of that too, but it works.
But I feel like at least you have the style of an animation where you can fuck with
Right.
that.
But so you asked me though about Memoir of a Snail. So basically, First off, I'll say the last thing on Only God Forgives. It does feel like the entire pitch for it was like, hey everybody, we're gonna go shoot in Bangkok because all the neon shit. It's like, what's the plot?
In Bangkok, a
Bangkok,
crime. It's
Bangkok.
good. It's
Ryan
going to be about
Gosling's in
Ryan Gosling's gonna fight to the death with a guy. It's like, okay,
it.
sure, buddy.
He's a weirdo, that's for sure. But I love him. Anyway, so on Memoir of a Snail, what's great about it is one of those kind of in a weird way like Mary and Max. Although Mary and Max maybe had more of a narrative. Essentially, Memoir of a Snail is kind of like vignettes in the life of this young girl who's a twin, and she has a twin brother, and she was born prematurely. She has like a cleft palate, and it's about these various sort of moments in life, some of them happy, a lot of them really sad. Like she's separated from her brother after her drunk father dies. Her brother is gay and then is living with a bunch of evil um like puritanical Christians who like give him electroshock treatment. It's not for kids.
So
Um
what I'm hearing from this is
yeah.
the energy I'm getting is it's like a Casper and what's her name Burliat film where
Yeah.
it's just like fucking just not the feeling of I need a shower.
It's a movie that like if you are somebody who is even close to contemplating killing yourself, don't watch it because it's one of those okay because it's the kind of movie where the thing about the Memoir of a Snail thing is that she loves not only take snails physically having them, but also snail memorabilia. She becomes a hoarder. It becomes a problem. Like she's taking in all this stuff, and she also is in her shell. She identifies with the snails, tongue twister, with the snails because. And one of the most powerful scenes of any movie this year is when these bullies are picking on her. They're calling her Rabbit Face because she has like a cleft palate. Um, her brother comes in to beat up, kick all of their asses, and she's like in the corner, and she just curls up, and you see a shell over her. This sort of visual of this, and it's beautiful. But basically, like she marries somebody. You think he's a nice guy who really loves her, but she gains progressively a lot more weight, and turns out he's feeding her. He has a fat fetish, so he's trying to fatten her.
Uh,
It is
you're
not for
just
fucking kids.
you're explaining more, and I'm like, this is like fucked up. Like this is a
It's a
fucked
fucked up
up
movie.
movie.
It is super fucked up. It's also the kind of movie where like there's a scene where like she contemplates suicide by drinking snail poison. There's a scene where like she's taking care of this old lady who's constantly naked and has like severe dementia. It's kind of a dark flick. It's
See it.
she.
I'm fascinated.
Mhm.
Do you think that it has any chance of being one of the 5 animateds this year?
Oh, I absolutely think it does. I
Because
absolutely.
what do we have this year that's probably going to be up there? It's going to be that. It's
Dude,
going to be
this year animation has
Flow.
kind of cleaned ass this year. To be perfectly honest, they've been
So
pretty damn
so
good.
so Flow probably is going to be in
Which I'm
there.
seeing in a couple weeks because it's coming near me soon. I'm excited.
That's kind of a lock right now because isn't it a
Yeah,
Janus Films movie too? So it's kind of
I
locked
think
already.
I think that it's going for both animated feature and it's a Latvia's entry into international. Um,
That's what I heard. Yeah, hundred
so
percent.
that one's a lock. I've heard great things about it. I Robot Dreams I'd say is a lock, but it was nominated
This is a
last year.
lot. But can they count it though? Because I feel like
It
they could
yeah,
count it because it didn't get released to theaters until this year.
dude, it
I
didn't get
think
released here in the U.S. until like the summer.
they can lock it. I think they can
Yeah.
do that. Um, if
Wild
that's the
Robot for sure
rules,
is a lock. Wild
if that's
Robot.
the rules though, then People's Joker and Aggro Drift are in the top or in the 10 best picture
They can
slots.
qualify as animation. Well, the thing is, like Memoir of a, or not Memoir of Snow. Sorry, Marcel the
Well,
Shell of Shoes.
visual effects though, they could do People's Joker. They could put People's
They
Joker in
could,
visual.
but like if you look at it though, really like Marcel the Shell of Shoes on was nominated, and because it reached the minimum of 75% of the movie has to be animated, People's Joker could get nominated for animated feature because I got
Joker
a good read.
could,
About
yeah,
75% of it was animated.
with
Same
some
with
type
Hundreds
of
of Beavers,
background.
honestly.
Oh, hundreds of beavers could totally get some type of. I feel like those are the movies that we should be giving these awards to, but they're probably not going to be anywhere close. That's why I feel bad when I see like Neon is running Long Legs as like an all like fucking category situation, and I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
FYC like
ultimately that
winner. Yeah.
should be everywhere. Everything should get nominated for that movie, but
Mm-hmm.
the industry hates movies like that, so it's
Yeah.
definitely not going to be getting that,
Well,
even though
it's
it
like
fucking deserves it. Like,
I was talking to somebody and they said, "Well, who's on your Oscar roster?" I'm like, if it was me personally, Demi Moore would be nominated, but it's not going to happen, even though she's.
yeah,
And
Demi
also
Moore
like
would be in there. Hunter Schafer, I'd put in there too. I'd put
Selena Gomez and Amelia Perez, but I don't think she's going to get nominated either.
which
Just
is also a movie that
because
I
she's
was
too
like, I
villainous.
liked it.
Yeah, me
I know.
too.
I went into that movie and everyone was like, I had a really good. I took this edible that didn't hit until later, so it was ready to go when that movie started.
It's a
I fucking.
complicated movie,
It's a
but I
great movie, but I think
yeah, it
was I
is.
saying it to you though? Was I saying it to you or was I saying it to someone else? Which is that the problem everyone was trying to say it was transphobic, but what they really meant
I
was
didn't
I
think it was
don't.
transphobic.
But what people meant though, I feel like when because you liked it, I liked it, but I think
Oh,
what
it's going to be on my best of list
the
probably.
people who were trying to say that it was negative
Yes,
and transphobic, I think what they're trying to say is that they don't like that the trans woman was a
is a
drug
complex
dealer
character.
before, was a complex character.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, but my whole response to it, which a friend was like, oh, that's enlightening, is, well, we're all fucked up people. That's the world.
Right.
So why wouldn't we tell a fucked up story like that? Like, I feel like it, because clearly in my mind, they're two different people. I
Yes.
separate them. They're clearly two different people but there's so many people who could get past that, and they're like, it's negative representation. I'm like,
And
shut
it's
the
the
fuck
kind
up,
of
guys. It's
movie.
not.
I'm gonna make a weird comparison, but I kind of compare Amelia Perez, what I love about it, to what I love about Joker Folie à Deux, in the sense of it's a movie where the musical element is so, the world around it is big, but the musical element is so subtle that it's clearly coming from the emotions of the characters in a way that musicals don't tend to do. Like, okay, like the scene in Amelia Perez that actually really touched me is the scene where the little boy is singing to Amelia like "You smell like Papa."
Yeah,
That really
yeah.
got me because it's you see him singing it kind of quietly to this woman that he
Even
doesn't realize, used to
yeah,
be his
even like the
father.
scene where
And
they're in the like the scene where they're in
yeah,
the van. I think about that where like there's the song is happening where it's like, I don't want anything else in my life but this. I'm
yes,
like, there's some real rawness to that, and to sit here and and kind of like disavow the film when there's
right.
a great song about that where it's like, all I want in my life is to be this person and not nothing else in my life matters. I'm like, that's a real deep thing that people are just throwing away because they don't like the representation. And also, if we don't nominate that fucking scene in the banquet scene for best song, I don't know what the fuck we're
Yeah.
doing. I was so high, I watched that shit 4 times in a row. I had to rewind to watch that fucking scene again because maybe it's because the way they shot it with the fucking the whatever the kuka arm or whatever they used, where they were like fucking around with
Mm.
like how it was shot. Oh my god, seeing fucking Zoe Saldana dancing around that fucking room and shit.
If it
Great
were up
fucking
to
scene.
if it were up to me on when it comes to animated feature, I'd also put Look Back in there, but I feel like but something I mentioned
Yeah, I don't know
I
if they
kind of
consider it.
well, here's the thing. I mentioned that in my chat about it. Is it too short for them to consider it as a feature? And
Mhm.
Jared, who's an animation nerd, an anime nerd in
Yeah,
particular, sent me this thing that says that it was allowed to be shortlisted
because I feel like
because
it's 45 minutes plus, right? Is that what they count as a
it's
movie these
I
days?
think it's 40 minutes plus, and that's how I go by feature films. I don't review them
Yeah,
as
me
shorts
too.
if
I
they're over
go
40 minutes.
45 plus. Yeah.
So like even though it's nominated for short, like at 41 minutes, I reviewed Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar as its own feature because it was
Yeah,
technically feature length if you go by the now
that
here's the thing.
metric.
Luckily Netflix did a wonderful thing, which is and I updated it accordingly where they took that and the other Wes Anderson shorts and put them into an anthology film that's like 2 hours. I'm like, thank you. Fucking
Yeah,
thank you. Because now, first off, I can watch the movie without having to do a bunch of watch all of them together without having to do a bunch of keystrokes. And two, this is the ideal way to watch these films. They should have been. I kind of said
it's
when
true.
I put it on my like runner up on my best of list. I said Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar plus the other three because I
Yeah.
thought they all were worth watching and of a piece with one another. But like I'll say this: I know for a fact Ray Fiennes is going to get nominated for Best Actor, and I think that's well deserved. Have you seen Conclave yet?
I haven't. It's on digital, but it's on the list. It's on the very very small list, but the list of
Mm.
stuff I'm seeing by the end of the year. Conclave is on there, probably because you explained the ending to me, and I want to
Mm.
see how that's executed. Because a
Yeah.
lot of people fucking love that movie, and I'm like, yeah, I feel like it might be one of those movies like Spotlight, where I'm like, yeah, maybe I'm not like a huge fan of like watching this one, but I totally get where like the love is coming from.
I feel like it's only appropriate since we're discussing this to tell you what my favorites of the year are at this point because
Sure,
we're on
yeah.
the second channel, and I think that it's
I don't know what time is it. Yeah, we could. I'll leave in like 15 minutes, and I'll probably come back.
yeah.
I gotta pick someone up from fucking work because it's snowing now. But like, no. But
On
what's on your list? What's on your fucking list?
so I kind of basically I kind of put it into two categories. So it's like the top 30 and the next 20 because this year has been genuinely great. So like the
Okay,
next I'd say that just running through the next 20, sometimes I think about dying. I like
okay,
movies. Love Lies Bleeding, Dune Part 2, Thelma, Blink Twice, Strange Darling, which I really felt bad about having to put in the next 20, but it was because it's great. Kill, Monkey Man,
okay. Yeah.
The People's Joker, just missed
Okay.
it. Hundreds of Beavers, just missed it. Challengers, The Black Sea, which is starting its limited run like now. I saw that at Sliff. The Bike Riders, Long Legs, Kinds of Kindness, Deadpool and Wolverine, Gasoline Rainbow, Turtles All the Way Down, and Late Night with the Devil. So my top 30
Okay.
are The Room Next Door, Almodovar. I saw that
Yeah.
at Sliff. My first film, I know you didn't like it as much as I did. In fact, you didn't like it at all. Amelia Perez. I saw the TV Glow.
Yeah, my first movie. Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally. That was like a girl
Zia
sucking her own
Anger,
cock.
my first film, yeah.
It was pretty trash. I ain't gonna lie.
I saw the TV Glow, like
Okay.
Amelia Perez. I saw the TV Glow. Inside Out 2, great, really surprisingly great sequel. This one I put on here almost by principle. I had to get my butt out of bed this week. It was on Monday at like 9 in the morning because it was the only time they were going to show it in a theater kind of near-ish to me. It was about an hour away. Juror Number 2, the Clint Eastwood movie.
Because they showed it at
Most
like two theaters, two and a
yeah,
half theaters. Yeah.
most people are going to see this at Christmas when it drops on HBO Max. I wanted to stick it to David Zaslav and go see it in a movie theater. And this proves to me the theory that like if you give good material, Clint Eastwood's straightforward approach can really work. This really worked. This was a really
Write
good
his own
show.
movies.
Well, right. It's like Clint Eastwood, I call one of the rare conservative filmmakers who's actually kind of good most of the time. And I think he really did a good job with this one. And it actually has some moral complexity that goes beyond his politics, which was refreshing. So, yeah. And also, it's Nicholas Hoult and Toni Collette back together again 20 years after About a Boy. And that's not a bad thing at all. Next up, speaking of conservatives who aren't cool like Clint Eastwood, The Apprentice.
It's a
Fucking love
great
that.
movie.
Great
I
movie.
will I watch it again? Probably not. I might have trauma from this election.
Yeah.
Um, but I when I saw it before, I was like, yeah, it's a great it's almost they take him and they kind of like take him apart and really show how he
The
turned into a
evil
piece of
and how it
shit.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought it was done real well, and I even said to my mom, I'm like, if you're fine to watch like him play Donald Trump for like an hour and 40 minutes, it's actually a great
Sebastian Stan
deconstruction
is
of an
great
evil
in it.
person. Oh, he's fucking awesome in it.
Well,
Like
and
he's
the people say that like the two performances this year. I still haven't seen A Different Man. It's another one that's on my list. I
Different
really
Man
want
is
to.
great. I would say A Different Man is
Yeah.
a little better than
Yeah.
Apprentice because it's an original story. And it's also I didn't expect it to be a thriller and it was a thriller and I'm like this is kind of cool like what it is.
So that
Yeah, it's great.
speaking of men in power trying to hurt women, woman of the hour is my next one.
I love that fucking
God, that was
movie.
such a good movie.
One
That
of
was
the
so good.
best movies we saw at TIFF. Literally, I stood
Yeah.
outside in a circle with everyone, and I feel like they could tell that if I talked, I was gonna like fucking cry. That shit's insane. Like that's a fucked up movie.
It took too long to get to us, honestly. Next up, September 5th. I saw this at Sliff. This comes out in December. It's the movie about ABC Sports,
Really, yeah. There's
The
they
Munich hostage situation, and it's
yeah at the. I heard people are mixed about it, but I think a
well,
lot of people are sensitive to current politics, and that's
well, I think
why.
a lot of it too is the sort of Israeli-Palestine debate, and what I kind of liked about it is I compared it a little bit to Civil War in the sense that they don't really take a side; it's just kind of procedural,
Yeah.
straightforward. But the script is really good, and also this proves my theory, which is that John Magaro is one of our best character actors, and he needs to be in more movies.
Great. He literally him not getting a nomination for Poor Lives blew my mind
Past lives,
because
yeah.
or Past Lives
You
because
got
he's
your Oscar nomination from last year, Cross.
bro is playing a cuck and he does it so well. Like
But
I'm
a
like he's
likable
so good
cuck,
in that
though.
fucking
That's
movie.
the thing.
He's kind of a cuck, but he's not. Like it's kind of like it's interesting to watch this idea of like, oh, you met a friend, and then he has to stand there and be like, well, my wife is not hanging out with me as much because she found a new friend, and it's like he's so good at this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I only saw it one time. I probably will
I
love it if I watch it again, but it was such a great
I saw
screening.
it with my aunts. I saw it on vacation, and it was funny. My aunt Nina, who Happy Thanksgiving, Aunt Nina. I love you lots. They're seeing Wicked right now. She turned to me, and when they gets to that line of, she was so invested when they got to that line about how I never thought it would be so hard to pretend to not like your husband. And then she was like, I know, right? Like out loud. It's great. So yeah, that's September 5th, really good. North of Normal, the most underrated movie of the year.
Still have to see it. It should be on my Prime because it's on Crave.
Mm.
Sarah Gadon. Everyone keeps.
She's having a good year this year,
I've
honestly.
you keep telling me about it, and I do like the concept of it. I think that
Mm.
it's one of those Canadian films where I'm like, yeah, I probably will. Okay, Canadian film. Have you seen it yet? I Used to Be Funny.
That is on my instant queue on Netflix. That is one of the end of the year catch up movies for
It
me.
is a great fucking movie. Saw it
Well,
at the Queer
Rachel Sennott,
Fest.
like, come on.
Oh my god! And the performances are great. The script is great. It feels uniquely Canadian in a way that I Like Movies did, where you're just like, ooh, this is Toronto core. Same with I'm gonna say the same thing about My Old Ass. I
Which
watched it, which I watched it, and literally 20 minutes in, I was like, is this a Canadian film? And I looked it up,
oh,
and
it
I'm like, oh
is.
shit, it is. Okay, I vibe with this. Even
It's
though
un film de grace from Secret Life of the American Teenager is what it is. It's awesome.
Well, I will say though, My Old Ass is a bullshit movie because when I took it, Aubrey Plaza didn't fucking show up. I just listened to music for
Oh
6 hours. That's all that happened. Oh, no, I tried to watch The Substance, but I only got like 30 minutes in. My attention span was fucked. I was like, I can't watch this right now. It was a
yeah.
good idea though. But no, I'm here to say that's bullshit. And also, the worst person in the world scene is bullshit because that's not what it feels like.
Oh.
It's not
Uh,
that fun.
yeah. But yeah, North of Normal, really good. Another movie that just missed the list, that also got a pretty divisive reaction, but I really came on the side of loving it with Sarah Gadon was Coup, which a lot of people, nobody saw also. That was also pretty underrated.
That's on my list. Coos on my list. North and Normal's on my list. Conclave is on my
But
list.
North and Normal, like, if it were up to me, there's this young actress in the movie. It's her first big movie role. She's also was in that movie Low Lifes, which would have been like a guilty pleasure movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Her name is Amanda Fix. This young actress, she's great. Oh my god, she was great in this, and then literally like the same time I saw it, she was really good on Orphan Black Echoes as like the young,
Orphan Black Echoes. I
which
saw
was
one
actually
episode. I was
good.
like, it's cool. It's
Yeah.
I didn't finish it though. It's definitely not the first show. I'm gonna be real. I fuck with the
It's
first
not as
show.
good as the original show, but
It's not.
it's all right. At least it has Kristen Ritter in it. She's always a treat.
It's she's not Tatiana Maslany, but she's still good in
Yeah.
it. Like
Well, nobody else can beat Tatiana Maslany though. Um,
that's true.
so this one is going to be the controversial pick. Nerds, you can go ahead and cry about it. Joker, Folie à Deux. I've seen it 3 times. I like it a little more each time.
I
Sorry.
feel like to be honest with you, I fuck with the fact that you have it on there because
At
it
least
just
it's
shows
ambitious.
that you're not following the crowd. And I say
Right.
that as someone who didn't like it. But my reasons for not liking it are not the
Yeah.
bullshit that everyone says. I just
Well,
thought it was
see,
boring.
your reasons are valid though. See, you're coming at it from a real place. A lot of people are like, it wasn't the first one, therefore it's bad.
For me, it's like it was just a really boring ass movie that I almost fell asleep trying to
This is a
watch
movie that's
multiple
making
times.
me feel bad for being a militant, toxic piece of shit who misinterpreted the first movie. I don't like this.
No, 100%, hundred
Right.
fucking
So
percent.
yeah, Joker Full of you mentioned it a few minutes ago. My old ass. Seen it thrice now. I saw it twice. Actually, it was a weird thing. I saw it 2 times before it actually played in any theaters. Because I saw it an early screening at the Draft House that I was invited to for free. I took my
See it
sister for her
at the
birthday.
festival.
I didn't see it at the festival, but I took my sister for her birthday, and she said that like Wicked's her favorite movie of the year. She said she hasn't seen a lot of movies, but if she were to pick a top three, it would be Wicked, Anora, and this. Like she loved My Old Ass. I saw it again because it was the AMC Screen Unseen, like the week before it came out. So I saw it, and then I watched it on Prime. Love that movie. My Old Ass, Saturday Night, which I'm sure is going to be on your list.
Oh, it
I would
definitely will be. It's in the top 10. It will probably stay in the
fuck
top
all the
10.
haters. Like I've seen that movie also 3 times, and it gets better and better and better and better and
It's a
better every time.
joyous movie. It's a little stressful, but I think by the end of it, you
But
want to
it's
get together with your friends and make something wild,
but it's so quotable. It's one of the most
Yeah.
well-written movies of the year. Like I'd rather butt fuck cancer than make these changes is like one of the best lines I've ever heard in a movie in a long time. But also,
And
Tommy
like little lines,
Dewey for
like,
Best Supporting
oh my
Actor
god,
is
yeah,
for that movie, and quite frankly for Your Monster too, which also just missed the list
yeah.
as like runner up.
I haven't seen yet, but it's also on the list. I do want to see My Monster,
What I love is
because people
it
say
came,
it's like Lisa Frank. It's like alternate
dude.
universe Lisa Frankenstein.
It would make a baller double bill with Lisa Frankenstein. It like it's funny. It just came out in the UK, so Mark Kermode reviewed it today, and he said like it Conclave did too, and he says I loved Conclave, but I gotta say, just for personal reasons, film of the week is Your Monster. That was such a like I knew into knowing nothing, and I was delighted. But
Got the digital. It just got the digital, and I've been
yeah,
hearing since Sundance from Sundance friends that like they're like, no, it's great. Like it's a very fun movie. It looks like
yeah.
it's one of those ones. It's gonna fit into the culture of like the chick flicks that I'm now accepting that I like because I'm like
Well, it's
accepting
sort of like
myself.
it's weird. It's like this would make a really good triple bill. Speaking of alumni from Saturday Night, this would make a really good triple bill with not only Lisa Frankenstein, but Anna and the Apocalypse, because this is kind of a musical at the same time. So it has that vibe of like it's an original musical that's a low budget movie. It has a lot of personality to it, and it's just great. And also, I love Melissa Barrera, and I'm what they've been
when
doing
I
with her.
when I heard she was doing this kind of this type of movie and it was this, I was like, you know what? I'm down for that. I think and it came out now. I wish it would have came out a little sooner, but I'll see it this well, it's definitely gonna be probably the first thing I watch upcoming out of anything
Yeah.
new. Because it seems like a simple one I could put on and like
You
watch.
you said you only have about 15 minutes. You know what? I think we're gonna end it there kind of early, just because I don't think anybody else is coming. So I might
Friday.
call it a
You
night
gotta
anyway.
you gotta go Black Friday shopping. Just kidding. At
No,
the
I
non-existent sales.
honestly I need to stay as far away from Black Friday as
Bro,
possible.
I'm gonna be real with you. I am not doing Black Friday this year because I
Yeah,
looked at some of the sales and they're like, okay, there's some money off, but they're still charging like $400 for shit. I'm like, that's not a fucking sale, bro. Like,
yeah.
and also, I feel like for me, what I would do is digital movies. But physical movies, the problem I'm telling
Mm,
people is like they put all the same movies on sale and then they do it every year. So there's
yeah,
never any like originality. And I'm like, but I own all the movies I would like last year I bought like Scream 6 and like
mhm,
Dungeons and Dragons and Top Gun Maverick. Those would probably be on sale again. And I'm like, but
yeah,
I don't need them because I already fucking have them. Like,
yeah. But anyway, I wanted to kind of finish though before we finish,
yeah,
just because we're still working our way up. Number 17 has a funny story behind it. A Real Pain is my number 17. That is a movie that
I haven't seen it yet, but will when it drops, I think
it's
on
great. I
Disney
saw it
Plus.
the first time in my uncle's living room, because the first time I watched it with my uncle and my grandma, on a Sundance screener, knowing nothing about it. And then what was funny is that it's been playing in my town. It's actually still out. It's doing kind of well. Um, I was going to go to the AMC Screen Unseen that night, and it was Gladiator 2. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to go see Gladiator 2 in IMAX. I'm going to support a movie that I like, that I want to give love to. I went to go see A Real Pain instead on the big screen. Thinking there would be an audience, I was the only one in the theater.
Really?
It was a Monday night, so I don't know. But watching it again, it went up my list. It was actually lower.
Like
Um,
people are saying that it's really good, which I
it's
feel like
so
I
good.
hope so because I was very mid feeling on Eisenberg's last film where I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
I
I
haven't
get
seen
what
it.
you're doing here, but I'm not necessarily a huge fan of this. This one sounds like it's like a lot better.
That was one of the ones that was on my end of the year catch up list that I didn't get to. That wasn't that like when you finish Saving the World.
Yeah, the one
Yeah,
where like Finn Wolfhard is like a musician on Twitch and shit, and like
he's like an
it's
activist,
like
right? Like he
living
wants.
with his yeah, he's like living with his mom and he hates his mom and shit. It's like a teen angst film. It's like
Yeah,
Juno if it was less quality, but
I
like
I
this
heard
one
that.
sounds better.
Yeah, I've heard people who've seen the first one say that like this is not only a step up, it's like a leap up from
Yeah,
that. No, it's great, and Kieran Culkin is going to get a nomination, and he deserves it. I love how far he's come. So that's one. 16 is Conclave. Just a movie for adults that even my conservative mother loved. There's something about good storytelling that's just inherently good, and that's just good storytelling. 15 is the most recent addition. That is Robot Dreams. Is my 15. I love that movie. I'm gonna buy it on Blu-ray, even though it's on Disney Plus now. I want to own it. Maybe they'll have a Black Friday markdown on it. That would be cool. 14 is one that nobody saw. I saw it at Screen Unseen. It was also at Sundance. I didn't see it at Sundance. Exhibiting Forgiveness is my number 14. With Andre Holland. It's a movie that nobody's going to care about because nobody fucking saw it, but it's really, really good. Has one of the best original songs in a movie this year, too, by Andre Day. It's great. Number 13 is on Netflix, and I've been trying to get my mom to watch it because I think she'd love it. And she says, I saw the trailer. I think I'll love it. Hasn't gotten around to it, but His Three Daughters.
Okay.
Um,
That's on my list too. I've
it's
been
so
waiting
good.
for a perfect day to watch it because it feels
Yeah.
like one like last year with May December where I was like, you know what, I have nothing to do right now. I'm just
I,
gonna
I,
put it on.
I fucking loved May December. That was on my best of list last year.
That was a great movie.
It was a great movie.
I'm getting the same vibe. It's just a movie I'll put on like a night when I'm like not working and I'm like I gotta watch something. I'm gonna watch this one, and I'll watch it for Natasha Lyonne because come on, if
Yeah.
she's in it, I'll watch it. That's just how it
Natasha
is.
Lyonne, and she's great in it. So yeah, they're all great in it. Number 12 is one that I think I have a feeling will, if not be on your list, probably at least be an honorable mention. Will and Harper. What a delightful movie. Just
I don't think I'm gonna watch enough movies that's gonna resonate with me where it won't be on there. I
yeah.
think that most likely my two bottom films are gonna be for my honorable mentions are gonna be Will and Harper and then the movie that Louise Weird made, the 4 hour movie that she sent me. Those are the
Oh
two
yeah.
that are gonna be on there because I feel like I put it where because no one else will put them on their list, but I there's a more personal attachment to those ones.
Yeah.
No, it probably will, just because like I think it was great and it was a great experience watching it. I
And it's
think it's
one of the funniest movies
it's
of the year, and it's also
yeah.
one of those movies that like genuinely could make the world a better and nicer place, which
Because
is always a good thing.
they show people who are being villainized as the opposition in media as they're just random people who are like, why the fuck would we care? Live your life. Like it's breaking down the barriers that news stations have created in America
Right.
in a
And
way
it
that I feel like is valid and important.
and it takes down the whole trope of everybody needs to be sensitive around, LGBTQ people. It's like, no, they give each other
No,
shit, and I love that. And it's
yeah,
taken seriously, but they give each other shit. Like, again, the do you think you're a worse driver now that you're a woman? Like, shut the
that's a
fuck up, right?
great fucking
Like,
scene. Oh, but
yeah.
yeah,
No,
no,
it's
like it's great. It will be on my maybe not on my top 15, but it'll be in my honorable mentions for
it's
sure.
also it's also worth on being on the list just because one of the films that rewatches and influence from family members who loved it has made it go up, in my opinion, is Eurovision, which was also written by Harper Steele. So I actually kind of dig
Yeah,
that movie.
yeah.
The especially the Demi Lovato stuff. Like, you are the most unhelpful ghost ever. Uh, no, the best line in Eurovision by far is hey man, the American like backpacker's like, hey man, maybe we'll see you later. He goes, don't come to Iceland. We don't like you. You're gonna get killed by elves. So yeah, that's my number
For
12.
sure be on the list. Yeah. So that's
Number
12.
number 11 with a wild robot. It's so good. And I know it's like, okay, people are like, Grant, this is such a Grant list. Like, the normie shit and the shit that nobody's heard of. Guess what? It's my list, motherfuckers.
Film taste though. So I
Right.
think that's just how it is.
Number 10, Wicked. It was Wicked. I don't know what else to say. Number 9, Perfect
Because
Days.
Perfect Days, okay, 100%. Perfect Days is a masterpiece.
I believe that is the only Blu-ray I bought that wasn't gifted to me this year, was the Criterion of that movie.
Criterion, hell yeah. I
Fuck
That's
yeah.
one that I would buy because that is a
Yeah.
literal beautiful film. Like that is a great
It is
that it's I think it's helped me as a person too because I think it like
exactly.
it's you look at this guy who's like he cleans toilets and you see as his life the happiness in his life is dependent on how he sees himself. And I'm like I think it helped me kind of like be fine with myself in ways that I might have not been fine with before of like just being a normal person. And I love the
Yeah.
film. I think it's
I
fantastic.
think
I think it's a
I
great
think
film.
we as a society have gotten to this point where like it used to be to say something is a feel good movie or a feel great movie kind of takes on this whole thing of like, oh, that means it's saccharine. And I think that this year has been a really good year for feel good movies that actually make you feel good and aren't forced.
It's
Like that
about
movie,
that are trying to make you feel like it's
yeah.
fine where you are, you're a good person.
Well, and
Yeah.
also the world may be on fire, but that doesn't mean your personal world has to be. It's about your outlook, and the thing is that like Perfect Days is a great example. Thelma, great example of that. Like movies that make the again Will and Harper, movies
Yeah.
that make you feel like yeah maybe the world isn't so bad. There's still good people in our world, as weird as that may sound. And yep, I love Perfect Days. Also, one of the best soundtracks of any movie this year. Um, number eight, Becca, you're gonna be mad at me that it's so low, but trust me, the other seven are worthy of being higher. The Substance, I still fucking love.
I'm gonna be real with you. The Substance is like number 3 on my list right
I
now.
know,
I,
I
I
know.
think it's a Nora. I think it's a Nora Cuckoo, The Substance, and then it's under that. I saw the TV Glow. Those are my five
Cuckoo,
out of fives of the year.
Cuckoo is kind of a thing where it's like I really like it. I feel like if I rewatch it, I'll love it, but I haven't rewatched it yet.
I think when you rewatch it, you're like, this is the coolest way they
Yeah,
executed this. That's insane.
I really dug it. I'll say this: the thing that really stood out to me the first time watching it is it. This is pretty kind of even for me. This is kind of a very convoluted, but holy shit, Hunter Schafer's great, and holy shit, Dan Stevens is great.
They're both great. I love the way they execute the time manipulation. I think it's so
Mm.
fucking cool, especially if you're like blitzed. It's like, what the fuck is going on? I watched it the first time.
Dude, it
I
is a
didn't
what
catch
the
on till
fuck
the
is going
second.
on movie, though.
I
Is it
didn't catch
not?
on till like the third time that it was a time loop thing when I was
Yeah.
super high because I was like, what the fuck is going on?
It is.
Like, it's so good.
I've described this to people in my life, like this movie and 200% Wolf was another one where I described it to people and they were sitting and also saying with the I actually liked them and they're saying like
Cuckoo is the way I
yeah
described it to people is it's a Dario Argento film if you let a really gay man make it.
exactly. But
Because that's what that movie is. It's
but when I
so fucking
describe
it's so
but
queer.
But when I describe the plot to people who are like not weirdos like me, they
Yeah.
sit there and look at me and like, I bet your mother is thinking, God, I'm so glad you dropped out of college for this. to see to see these
No,
kind
it's
of movies.
fucking but I feel like it's a personal one for me where it's
Yeah.
like a lot of people are not going to agree, but I'm like, you know what? I waited 4 years to see it and I liked it, so it's
Mm-hmm.
fucking it
It's a
deserves
very
it.
well made movie too. Like the
Yeah.
filmmaking in it. And again, it's baffling to me at this juncture. I think I need to see it again. I do think, and I will see it again
When you
because I
see it
liked it
again,
enough.
the things will make more sense when you see
Yeah.
it again. Yeah.
But it's a good it is a movie I really liked. It's just that the reason it's not on my list is that I feel like it'll grow more in favor for me when I watch it again. Right at this juncture, I'm kind of a little in the dark about some of it. But yeah, The Substance is my number eight. Number seven, Dee Dee.
Okay, yeah, hell yeah.
Fucking love that. That was my
It's a
childhood.
banger. Not
It's
on
my
my
fucking
list
child.
right now, but a
What's up,
banger.
Drew?
Yeah.
Go check out his short. His shorts are actually really good. The Lego shorts. Thanks for coming, bud. Yeah, Dee Dee. Number six, Memoir of a Snail. We talked about it plenty. Number five, The Brutalist. Number four is this is purely for sentimental reasons, but saw it twice. Once by myself. Once I took my mom on discount day because she wanted to go see it. Because this started as a Fathom event. Eventually, it got a proper run near where I live. Superman, the Christopher Reeve story.
I haven't seen it yet, but everyone is saying it's a
You're gonna
goddamn
cry.
good
You're
documentary.
gonna
Yeah.
cry. It's one of those movies where like filmmaking wise, it's a pretty standard documentary, but
Yeah.
you just never fucking forget it when it's over. It's such an emotional gut punch of a movie. Um, Number three, and now it makes me feel bad when I laugh at that one South Park clip, which is funny.
Yeah, yeah,
Where Jimmy joins the Crips and
yeah.
he talks to his parents and he talks about like nobody cared about my stand-up comedy. All anybody cared about was Christopher Reeve's the super butthole. Yeah. Number three, Honora. My number three. Love that movie. Just I'm your fucking mother, motherfucker.
We're smoking dope in your candy shop.
Dope in your candy shop. What was the line? He goes, I'm like, oh, that's so classy. I got a butterfly like a real hoe.
Yeah, I love fucking where they walk out. It's like, cause I'm addicted to the reefer, and the guy's like laughing at it too. It's a good movie. It's a great lines in it. Really funny movie.
Dude, the screen. It better get like best original screenplay.
Yeah, if it doesn't get screenplay, and if it's not a big contender this year, we know that like the audience that chooses this stuff is too conservative still.
Also, Honora has maybe the best ending of the year.
Yeah, it's a great ending. Like but that's also Sean Baker doing endings. Like Sean Baker is like the king of doing endings.
Dude, there's a reason that I have to take like year-long gaps when I rewatch The Florida Project because the ending
that ending is sad.
It is so fucking devastating, but it's so good. It's perfect. I wouldn't change a thing about it. It is a stone cold bummer of an ending. It's great. Also, that kid, she was such a good little actor.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. That's a movie I haven't seen since it came out, but while I waited for Honora, I was sitting there debating the whole time, do I rewatch this movie? Because I kind of should.
I would say the best villain of the year, Drew, to answer your query, is the weirdo who stabbed the Joker at the end of Joker 2.
No, I would say if we're best villain, villain. I everyone's gonna say this is wild, but the best villain I feel like is Dan Stevens.
Yeah.
Dan Stevens in fucking the movie that everyone loves.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do a deep cut. I'm gonna say, even though she's kind of an anti-heroine, I don't care. I'm gonna say Abigail because that kid was fun.
Okay. I feel like maybe also Lorne Michaels in the People's Joker.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, you better not say in Saturday Night. I'm like,
no. He's the hero. No, I'm talking like when he like slips on the banana peel and gets eaten by poison ivy.
Oh, you know what? Changed my mind. Milton Berle in Saturday Night is the best.
Oh yeah. Especially when he like takes out his fucking cock.
Dude, J.K. Simmons between that movie, Red 1, which honestly I didn't hate, and Juror Number 2, J.K. Simmons is a fucking great actor. Like, I don't think people give him enough credit for how good.
Well, he had, let's be honest, I heard he's the only good part of that Christmas movie, so he's just fallen this year.
Yeah, the major issue with Red 1 is he's barely in it. He's like, well, the biggest crime I think with Red 1 is it wasted Bonnie Hunt. Like, she's there.
Bonnie Hunt's in it? Oh, shit.
Yeah,
okay.
She's Mrs. Claus, but she's in like 2 scenes.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it is. I'm like, holy shit, it's Bonnie Hunt.
I haven't seen her since my childhood. That's crazy.
Dude, I don't think I've seen her since fucking Cheaper by the Dozen.
Cheaper by the Dozen, too, yeah. But, like, no, he's doing a great year. So Honora is 3. So your top 2 are fucking, I'm trying to guess.
Okay, number 2 is Look Back.
Fuck? Okay.
And number 1 is Sing Sing.
Oh yeah, Sing Sing did come out this year. That's the one everyone's gonna forget about.
Slowly, it's coming out. It's like city by city shit, but it's great.
Okay.
Well, that one, and also they're not gonna make my list, but I also feel the need to give honorable mentions just for pure cinematic achievement. I almost call it the Adult Swim Yule Log Award because it's like movies that you can debate whether or not you can call them movies, but just as what they do.
Yeah.
Rap World and Milk and Cereal also.
Okay, yeah. Rap World, I almost put on my list, but then I'm like, but can I really count this though? But it was the funniest fucking thing I saw the whole year.
Dude, Rap World that goes,
you're not my dad. You're not God. You're not the president. You can't tell me what to do.
Also is one of the best epilogue texts of any movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, Mike died due to complications of being shot in the leg.
Bro. Or like even like when we find out what the album sounds like, they're rapping like
Dude,
my
the rap at the end
superpower
is awesome.
my superpower is killing teachers. It's like what the fuck are they talking about? Like
Dude,
Jesus
that
Christ.
whole film is like, you might as well take Connor O'Malley's character from Joe Pera Talks With You and just give him a film spinoff, and that's basically what that
Well,
is.
I've been saying A24 Neon, if they want to jump on the comedy scene, because I know that A24 has the Tim Robinson movie that played at TIFF. If they want
Which
to
I
do
can't
like,
fucking wait for.
which I'm so excited because everyone said it's literally I think you should leave as a full movie. But basically,
I
my
think you
thoughts
should
on
leave as
it.
my fucking religion.
Oh, I love it. But
It's
no,
so
if
good.
they want to do something good, give fucking Connor O'Malley a whole ass movie and just let him go wild. Like
Dude,
that
give
would
the
be
whole
the
ass
greatest
movie.
fucking thing.
Well, and also, like, they can do comedy because, again, like, Dick's the Musical. I know we're in a very small... You, me, and Ryan Lane are, like, the only three people I know who not... Oh, Luke liked it. But, like, who not only liked but loved Dick's the Musical. Like, it was on our best
Oh my god. Like, when they started spitting into the monsters' mouths, every person in the theater was so drunk that we were all like, oh my god, it's so funny. Like,
and just the God is an F slur and all love is... Just
God is...
all that shit.
That's a great, like, that's a movie where it was funny, but it's weird because with Bros, my parents saw Bros and they loved it, but when I saw
fucking loved it too, honestly.
But I saw Dick's the Musical and my mom asked about it and I said, you might not want to see this one because it's a little bit, like, antagonistic with its comedy in a way that you might
some
not
Borat
like.
shit, where it's like, it's shock humor, too.
It is. Well,
Yeah.
especially when it gets to all the incest and shit, you're like, oh my god, okay, I guess that's what we're fucking doing now.
And also, like, Megan Thee Stallion was actually fucking great in that. Like,
oh my god, everyone's complaining about her and shit, but I'm like, her song literally should have been nominated for a fucking Oscar.
Dude, I have Out Alpha the Alpha on, like, my Get Turnt playlist.
It should have been in my best songs of the year list because that was a great fucking song. It's a great movie. But I feel like it fits in that category for us with like shit like Boy Kills World, where everyone's like, it sucks, but I'm like, but I love it because it fits my brand of fucking weird ass like film love. So I kind of think it's amazing.
These are all fucking movies that I quote, and people look at me like, what the fuck are you talking? Go see the fucking movie, dog. And in Boy Kills World, it was, Player 2 is fucking insane.
That's a movie I need to watch again because it's hype. It hypes me up. It's a hype-ass movie.
Boy Kills World. That was the other quote. Is like, you little fucking shit. Do you know how fucking hard it is to get a serial mascot to endorse mass murder?
It's just, I loved even like the unexpectedness of the jokes, like when they drop the anvil on the what's his face's head, and it's like, oh fuck. I thought he wasn't going to tell us anything, but it sounds like he was. Like, it's very much Deadpool light, but I kind of thought it was funny. I had fun with it. It's very much that typical type of movie that I would put on and laugh at.
It's like
even my sister
with even more balls.
Like, my sister saw it because of Bill Skarsgård, because it's on Netflix now, and she's like, no, it's really good. Like, so maybe it's just the judgy film bro guys who are like, yeah, that movie sucks. And I'm like, no, guys, I had fun.
Audience who turned on Boy Kills World also turned on things like Hardcore Henry, another movie I fucking love. In the sense, like,
Hardcore, two Sharto Copley films too, but like 100%.
Those movies though, like, if they're not getting cult followings now, they're
my god. Hardcore Henry, I rewatched it, and that is a perfect movie to watch. Dude. To watch that shit on edibles where you feel like you are Hardcore Henry is like real fun. Like, it's a great fucking movie.
Hardcore Henry also has the best use of cunt in a movie. Although I have to say, Saturday Night comes close.
Saturday Night's use
cunt did to my pages.
Saturday Nights is just so naturally used, where it's like so funny.
The best way.
Oh shit! I'm sliding. Oh, the ice. Oh fuck.
Hardcore Henry, the line.
Oh shit! I'm sliding. Oh my god! Holy fuck! It's snowy out, bitch.
and Hardcore Henry when it's Charles Copley, he's going up
Yeah.
to the lair. What was his name? Like Aiden or something? The freaking telekinetic dude.
Oh
It was
yeah.
Aiken, and he goes over
Yeah.
and he's doing one of his characters, and he goes, "What do you think, Henry? Should we knock on the door?" And he kind of shakes his head, and he goes, "I got an idea, ladies and gentlemen. Aiken is a cunt."
Oh, and then there's what I love too is there's like a whole musical number in that fucking movie too that I thought was like amazing, where they're like
Oh
doing
my
the dance
God.
number and shit.
Dude, the fucking fight scene
Yeah,
set to "Don't Stop Me Now" is like the second
oh my
best after
god,
like Shaun of the Dead.
literally an awesome fucking movie. Like I love that fucking movie, bro.
No, my favorite. It has one of my favorite because people say like Hardcore Henry. It's a serious action movie. I'm like, that's your first problem right there. It's supposed to be funny.
It's
It's
supposed to be let's take a first person
yeah.
shooter with first person shooter logics.
It's an edgelord movie. It is a shitpost movie.
Yeah,
Like the
it
scene I
is.
love is when she's hanging out. Haley Bennett is like hanging out of the helicopter toward the end, and
Mhm.
she says like, "I hope you're feeling proud of yourself" or something, and then he just point of view shifts over to the blood splattered on the thing, writes in it,
Yeah.
and then gives a thumbs up. Like hell yeah.
Like
Great.
I feel like there's so many movies I like that people don't get, but I feel like that's just how it all is because there's movies that I don't like that people are like they're great, but I would never understand
Yeah.
why. It's just subjective. We all gotta love each other's opinions. But no, I'm
Well,
telling you, bro, it's so icy
yeah.
out. I was slipping around driving, like holy shit. That's what it's like in the fucking tundra.
Well,
That's how it be out here.
what I love too is that Hardcore Henry, the guy who did it, like he would go on to do
Yeah.
fucking Nobody, which was also one of the best
Yeah.
action movies that year.
Which
You know what's
he's
funny,
now
though?
doing, yeah.
You know who's doing the second one though? This I'm actually really fucking hyped for.
It's the Shadow Strays guy.
It's the dude who did
Yeah.
the best
Yeah.
sequence in VHS 84. The fucking
Yeah,
like
and bro, I know, but he literally did Shadow Strays, and that's like one of my favorites of this fucking year. That movie's insane.
didn't he also do The Night Comes for Us?
The Night Comes for Us, yeah,
God,
which is
that's a
also
fucking
I heard is a banger. Yeah,
oh, it's great. It's like one of the most like that is some like Korean action shit. That is some hardcore shit.
yes, that's one of those movies where people were asking me about it. I'm like, okay, so it's this Indonesian action film, and they're like, okay, and I was like, some guy's face gets melted off on a fucking stove,
Dude.
and they're like, oh my god, what?
What was that one that had the dude from fucking G.I. Joe in it and Min-sik Choi in it? What was that movie? What was like I Saw the Devil or something like that? Yeah, I saw the
are
Devil.
we talking? Oh, I Saw the Devil is
That
like
is
a
a
great
fucking great movie.
where she kills his wife, or he kills his wife, and then he hunts him down, but doesn't kill him, but like tortures him, and then tortures him again,
like,
and then tortures him again.
Tortures him,
yeah,
like in the most fucked up ways. Where
and you wonder how far is revenge? Is it just as bad now, or is it like fucking great movie?
Dude, I stand by this. I think that if the best actors who never broke out in the U.S., like we think are among the best actors of all time, Min-sik Choi has got to be up there. That man commits to his roles.
He does so many good performances that I feel like I'm a little bit sad that no people know him. They know him, but like they won't know him by name. But they know him if they see him. They're like, oh, it's that guy. Okay.
But in like fucking Old Boy, like.
Yeah.
I watched because I saw it on the big screen last summer because they did the 4K re-release of it.
Oh my god, Old Boy! I saw that in the
such
theater,
a great performance.
This guy took his girlfriend and he didn't see it before, and I heard him during the end go, "What the fuck? No way!
Dude,
what the fuck?" And it's like,
The only theater that was showing it was the Landmark that's in St. Louis, the Plaza Frontenac, and luckily it was one of the ones that had the post-credits stuff with Nicholas Winding Refn and Park Chan-wook. But the movie ended. This lady and this around our age, like this couple walked out, and the dude, it was clearly one of his favorite movies. He's just like, "What'd you think, babe? Wasn't it awesome?" And she's just like, "Dude, why the fuck did you take me to this? What the fuck is wrong with you?"
It's a great movie, but it's a lot to process if you've never seen it before. You're like, "Oh, this is a lot."
And I made the mistake of seeing the remake first because I saw that when it was in
Yeah,
the.
that's your mistake. Don't. The remake sucks
The
ass.
remake. Here's the thing: the remake would be fine if it wasn't called Old Boy. If it was just
And
its
if it
own
wasn't,
damn
it
thing.
makes it even worse that it was directed by Spike Lee. I think that makes it so much
Well,
worse because you're like,
you
oh
know who
shit.
I. You know who agrees with you though is fucking Spike Lee. I think it's the only movie he's made that he doesn't call a joint because literally
Probably
he said.
because he probably had to make it for money, and he was like, I don't want to do this.
Well,
So
I think what happened was is that he made it and it was long and it was sort of like it was more faithful I think to the original, and then what happened was is that it got to
it got cut.
Hollywood and they cut an hour out of it, like they completely like Franken movied it, and so he was like,
Yeah.
no, it's not mine anymore. Like I can't call myself
Hopefully
Alex.
they don't fuck him. Hopefully they don't fuck him over for this new Kurosawa remake he's doing
Dude,
for
I'm
High and
fucking
Low.
pumped for that.
I'm
Well,
pumped because it's Spike Lee and he's amazing.
yeah,
100%.
I heard a lot of people say that, like, because it was on my best of list in 2020, that I fucking loved The Five Bloods, and a lot of people.
Oh, it's great.
It's a great movie, and like, how the fuck did Delroy Lindo not only not get nominated but not win an Oscar for that performance? That was
Yeah,
so. He was so fucking great in that movie. Like
it was
one of the best
amazing.
performances of the decade so far, honestly. He
Yeah,
just that one scene, that one what we call it a Spike Lee scene, where it's literally like close up monologue, just
where he's
like,
talking. Yeah, where he's
oh my
talking to the
god,
audience.
it's
Great
awesome.
fucking scene.
It's great, and the landmine scene, like my sphincter
Yeah,
was in my throat. Fuck.
yeah,
Spike Lee, regardless of what you think of his personal opinions on shit, like as a filmmaker, that has got to be like Mount Rushmore fucking filmmaker.
yeah.
Just
Probably. I think
that
in a
and
technical standpoint, yeah,
well, and
probably.
also even some of his screen, like Black Klansman is a great movie. Like not just as a
Yes,
visual experience, like
but
it made me
written.
afraid of Topher Grace. I don't
Yeah,
think that would ever, dude. When they were using the Klan rally like undercover, and he's
yeah,
acting all nice to him, and then the second the doors close, he kind of peeks in and he starts using the N word, and he's like America first. I was like, fuck, just
yeah,
fuck, damn Spike.
yeah.
And also John David Washington, who also should be nominated for Best Supporting Actor this year. Sadly, horror films again, not warranted, but The
Yeah,
Piano Lesson, he was really good in
yeah,
that. But that line when he says, I hate, when he's undercover and he's doing the
yeah.
white voice.
He's like talking on the
Oh
phone
my
and shit.
god, it's
Yeah.
great. Glad to know
No,
there's
it's good.
somebody. Glad to know there's somebody on our side. God bless white America. It's like, damn.
It's a great movie. I recommend
It
it to
is.
everyone because I'm like, that's the black movie that should have won Best Picture that year.
Dude, and he didn't he win? He didn't win director. He won screenplay
He
though for
won.
that
He
movie,
won screenplay for
which
it, but he
totally
didn't win
deserved.
director or picture,
I just
which I feel like it should have got because that's like such an American movie. It's even more relevant now. Like,
yeah, 100%. A movie
but
friendship
no,
you were
yeah.
sad to see fall apart. You know what? I'm gonna go for a movie this year. I'm gonna say, weirdly enough, Optimus Prime and Megatron in Transformers One, which is a fucking bang.
I'm gonna let you answer these comments. I'm gonna go. This was
Okay, well,
fun.
actually,
I will.
we're not even gonna answer these comments anymore because I'm gonna call it a night, fam.
Okay.
Becca, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
That's what she said. No.
I got off work, so I was like, I'll do it because I haven't been on a stream in a bit.
And they always say to end it with a joke, so I'm gonna end it with a joke. I'm gonna end it with my
Okay.
best dad joke. Hey Becca,
What?
have you ever tried doing archery blindfolded?
No,
You really
I
should. You
haven't.
don't. You really should. You don't know what you're missing. Good night, everybody.
That's good.
Good night, everybody. Peace.